Hello again, it's Murray Carter. Welcome to Part 2 Q&A of 2016. First of all, I want to address a comment from our first Part 1 video. And we had a commenter who said I wasn't being specific enough when it came to the name of, for example, name brands of stones or some of the specific elements of some of the steels. So I will try to be a little bit more specific in my answers from here forth. I'd like to answer some more questions from our friends at Franklin County High School. First question was, why do blades chip? If a blade that you're using chips in use, there's three things that you can suspect. Large grain size, which would have happened if the blade was overheated while it was made. A blade that has good fine grain size that has been quenched properly but not tempered enough. Or a blade that's got great grain size and it's been quenched at the right temperature, tempered at the right temperature, but simply has been pushed past its parameters. Now, you can find out a lot by taking a chip blade and looking at it in the sunlight and seeing, does it look granular? Was there any evidence that it kind of bent a little bit around where it chipped? And we have a great video on YouTube called Why Blades Chip, and so rather than waste your time now, I'm going to let you look at that afterwards. But one of those three things is going to cause a blade to chip. Another question was, can I do bladesmithing if I have some physical impairments such as epilepsy? I'm not sure in your case. You certainly can try. You can try to do everything. I wouldn't want to discourage anybody from pursuing their dreams, no matter what their ailments. Bruce Lee was famous that his one leg was shorter than another, and he went and became a movie star and a famous practitioner of Kung Fu. So who am I to dash your dreams? However, in bladesmithing, I will say that even when you are fully focused and of able mind and body, you can still get hurt. Buffers, fires, power hammers, sharpening, sharp blades, grinders. You know, even when we are fully aware of what we're doing, we still get hurt sometimes. Just a momentary lapse in attention. So proceed at your own caution, but try everything. Try everything and do your best at it and see how far that gets you. So what's stronger, a homogeneous blade or a hand-forged Damascus blade, if they're both forged by the same bladesmith, I'm assuming? If you've got enough carbon in the steel, because that's really the key component, is carbon when you add it to iron is what makes steel, and up to about 1.5%, the more carbon you have in a blade, theoretically, the harder you can get it, and hardness is what determines how fine of an edge and how long that edge will last. So, if you have, say for example, 1% carbon in your Damascus and 1% carbon in your homogeneous blade, and it's forged by a very knowledgeable and passionate bladesmith on a great day, theoretically they should be the same. But you know, just because it's Damascus doesn't make it superior to a homogeneous blade. It really has to do with the carbon content, the impurity content of the steel, and the skill and dedication and devotion of the bladesmith and his metallurgical capacity to bring out the best in the steel. Okay, how hard are forged knives? In the knife world, we usually use the Rockwell C scale for hardness. There's lots of different ways to measure hardness of different things. Mohs scale of hardness from 1 to 10, diamonds being 10, and then there's Brunel's. But in the knife world, we use the C scale for Rockwell, and it's measured in points from 20 to 80 points. I didn't decide that, so I don't know why that is, but that's the way it is. And most knives are going to come in between 50 and 60 points of Rockwell hardness after everything's said and done, after they're quenched and tempered. Things like axes and so on, probably going to come in the low 50s. A lot of your pocket knives from like the 1970s and 80s are coming in around 55. Then they started using things like 440C and what was it, 134 cm. Which came in around 59, 60 Rockwell. Then they invented some steels like ZDP 189 that comes in at the high 60s. The Hitachi white and blue steel, primarily white that we use here and on occasion blue steel, with the carbon content of around 1.3 to 1.4%. It quenches out at just under 68 Rockwell, and when we temper it down, it comes in between 63.5 to 64. Now, what you have to understand is there's no free lunch, and the harder the steel is, often the more difficult it can be to sharpen, which is why companies like Buck Knives uses 420J2 for their blades, which is fairly soft, probably comes in around Rockwell 56, and they say it's because it's easy to sharpen. The beautiful thing is about the Hitachi steels is that while they do achieve a very high Rockwell hardness, and keep in mind that hardness is what gives you a fine edge, and it'll allow a fine edge to last for a long time. Softer blade can't get as fine of an edge and definitely won't hold it very long. The beauty with the Hitachi steels is their ability to sharpen easily despite having a high Rockwell hardness. And they achieve that by keeping impurities such as phosphorus and sulfur down to levels that are 10 times more stringent than North American standards. Okay. Does the handle of a knife limit what the knife can do? Yes. If you think of, let's get a knife out here so we can see what we're talking about. Everything that you want to know, that the really important stuff is right here, the primary edge of the knife, and that's what initiates a cut. The secondary edge geometry allows the blade to be pushed through things, and so the whole blade is there just to support the primary edge. But if your handle isn't designed well, then the power from your arm and the control from your hand cannot be funneled or channeled down to the primary edge properly, or maybe not efficiently. So a good handle will allow you to channel the power and control from your arm and your wrist all the way down into the primary edge of the knife. That's what you're looking for in a handle. And I might add, a properly designed handle will allow you to do that in the dark, because the handle indexes intuitively in your hand and you know exactly what angle that primary edge is directed. And lastly, what kind of customers do you get? Well, you know, birds of a feather flock together, and you know, we do our best to make the very finest product we can. We take the finest steels we can. We put it through a no compromise 60+ step process to make knives. It's very time consuming. We pour our heart and souls into it, and fortunately our customers recognize the hard work and dedication and passion that we put into our knives, and so we're very blessed with an extremely loyal, dedicated, knowledgeable, educated customer base that seems to appreciate what we do. We love to give back to our customers when we can. We always try to give our customers the benefit of the doubt if they want to trade a knife in, or if they got some kind of educational quality control issue. Another great thing about our customers is, you know, we spend a lot of time making videos like blade sharpening videos. I've written books, and so we've spent a lot of effort to try to share our knowledge with our customers, and that's paid great dividends. And a lot of our customers have learned how to sharpen their own knives, maintain their own knives. They understand the limits of hand-forged carbon steel knives, and they work within the limits of those knives. So I believe that if you are going to start a business and you do the best job you can for your customers and you show your customers appreciation, then you will get predominantly great customers who make everything worthwhile. So on that, we're going to end for this part 2, and we'll pick up part 3 in a week's time. I just want to say again, thank you to my customers for your loyal and dedicated patronage, and keep your questions coming. It's Murray Carter from Carter Cutlery saying stay sharp.